a very good day. I bet to Dr. Mazatuliza and also my fellow friends. We are from Group 1 and today we are going to present on our Translanguaging activity, which is called What's in My House.
So the title for this activity is Bingo, What is in My House? This activity is suitable for the student with low proficiency level, which is A1 until A2.
The purpose of this activity is to help students build vocabulary related to household items in both Malay and English language and boost their confidence to speak in English language. As for the task, students have to mark the household items in the bingo cards and explain their choices in both English and Malay language with their teacher and peers for feedback. The materials needed for this activity include projector and screen, bingo handouts, and markers or pens. Now, let's move on to the step-by-step instruction. Step 1. Mini lesson. The teacher begins by showing a picture of a house with labeled areas such as living room and kitchen. Each item in the picture is labeled with vocabulary in both Malay and English language. Students can take notes for reference. Step 2. Group formation and instruction. Students are divided into groups of 3 to 5 members. Each group is provided with a bingo handout. Then, the teacher has to explain briefly about the activity. The theory that takes part in this activity is socio-cultural theory by Vygotsky. This theory emphasizes the role of society and socialization in learning and development. Students have to scaffold understanding by working together and learning through social interaction.
So the third step is describe, locate, and mark. In this step, the teacher will describe different items in the student's first language. This helps students to understand the meaning of new words by connecting them to what they already know. For example, chair. Ini sesuatu yang digunakan untuk duduk. And fridge. Ini tempat untuk menyimpan makanan agar tetap dingin. By using L1, the teacher makes it easier for students to understand the function of each item. The students will then listen to the description carefully. Listening is important here because it helps students practice their listening skills and understand the new vocabulary. After listening to the description, the students will look for the item on their cards. These steps helps them think critically and connect the description to the correct item. It is an active process that engages with their memory and attention. Finally, the students will mark the correct item on their card. This action helps to reinforce what they have learned and give them a way to check if they understood the description correctly. This step connects well with Piaget's constructivist theory, 1964, which says that learners build their knowledge by connecting new information to what they already know. In this case, using L1 will help the students to link new vocabulary to their existing knowledge, making it easier for them to understand and remember the words. The idea of constructivism is that students are not just memorizing new words, but they are actively engaging in the learning process. By listening, locating, and marking, they are interacting with the material in a way that makes learning more meaningful. This approach encourages deeper understanding as students use their existing knowledge to make sense of new concepts. Last but not least, for step 4, which is peer sharing and teachers' feedback, students will take an active role to reinforcing their vocabulary learning through peer sharing and teachers' feedback. First, the students say the word in L2, such as chair, which gives them the opportunity to practice pronunciation and become more confident using the word in their target language. Then, they will explain their choice of word using both L1 and L2, which is English and Bahasa Melayu. For instance, in L1, they might say, kerusi ialah sesuatu yang digunakan untuk duduk. And in L2, they would say, a chair is something used for sitting. This step is aligned with Vygotsky's sociocultural theory, which emphasizes the importance of social interaction in learning. Vygotsky believed that learning occurs most effectively through collaborative dialogue and peer interaction. By explaining and discussing vocabulary with their classmates, students engage in meaningful conversations that promotes deeper understanding and reinforce learning. Additionally, this process fits within the framework of communicative language teaching (CLT), which focuses on using language as a tool for communication. By encouraging students to share their explanations in both L1 and L2, they are actually practicing the language in real life context and improving their ability to communicate. Teachers' feedback plays a key role in this process by ensuring that students use the vocabulary correctly. The teacher will provide guidance and correction as needed, and it will help the students to refine their understanding and use of the language. This feedback ensures that students not only practice speaking but also gain confidence in using the language accurately.
Moving on to the rationale of doing this translanguaging activity. First, students uses Bahasa Melayu L1 and English L2 to build vocabulary and confidence. Next, it helps students with low English proficiency to improve their language skills. Other than that, it also leverages L1 as a bridge to learning L2. Also, translanguaging activity encourages collaboration and critical thinking among students and promotes practical use of language skills. It also can improve vocabulary and understanding of English through using both languages. By doing this activity, students will feel more confident to speak in English in group activities. They can also practice working together and talking in English. Lastly, students can show learning by making and sharing simple sentences in English. In conclusion, the activity effectively supports students with low English proficiency by utilizing their existing knowledge of Bahasa Melayu. It also promotes confidence and language development through translanguaging, allowing students to bridge the gap between their first language, which is L1, and English L2. By working in teams, students improve comprehension and vocabulary, fostering a collaborative learning environment. Through this approach, students are encouraged to use English confidently while enhancing their communication skills. The activity highlights the importance and benefits of integrating both languages to make learning English more accessible and effective for all learners.